Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special video. This one's going to get posted on Reddit. It's going to get posted on Discord. It's going to get posted, well, wherever it needs to get posted. The ongoing shenanigans surrounding SATAL, man, I don't even know what to say. It's very disheartening. I feel like there's just constant drama surrounding SATAL, and I guess when you're the big boy, everybody feels like they need to come after you. And I'm not saying I'm the big boy. I think it's where we've ended up. And actually, over the past couple months, I've taken a step back because I started another company and it's kind of taken over my life. So the rest of the staff have been doing things on their own. Now, there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of cause for alarm, what have you, around code that is surfaced saying that GR, specifically Bear, have been cheating. And this code in particular utilizes a proximity fuse, excluding the F-16, to kill any aircraft that it impacts. So there was an issue inside of DCS supposedly where desync or certain attitudes of aircraft would cause aircraft to not die. This code or this script caused them to die anyway by causing an explosion with 200 damage. As far as I understood it by looking at the code, causing 200 damage and they would die. Now the X-16 was excluded from this. This code was used, and I can confirm that it was used in a scrim. Now, something that I don't think a lot of people realize is that, from my understanding, after talking to some of the actors in play, and you guys may say, well, Moltar, you're biased, blah, 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 blah. You know, you can't have an opinion on this. You're the head of SATAL. You're probably behind all the cheating. Well, I'm going to have an opinion anyway, and whether you want to believe it or not, it is what it is. So this actor, or this team, not this actor, this team that was going against GR knew that things were being tested. How can you then say it was cheating when the team knew that things were being tested and that Bear routinely did tests in these scrims with this team for scripts to better SATAL? How can that be misconstrued as cheating? How? Well, in my opinion, it can't. So the reason, I'm going to give you a couple ideas here. The reason, in my opinion, why the F-16 was excluded, mind you, both teams, including GR, and some people say, well, GR flies almost entirely F-16s. Well, in this match, they weren't at all. The F-16, and neither was the other team. The other team actually had F-16s on it. The F-16 was actually excluded, in my opinion, because it was a variable. It was trying to be the control, right? Where if an F-16 got hit, the script wouldn't run. So they wanted to run it as a control, which makes total sense. When you're running an experiment, you want to have a control, at least in my opinion. Now, you could have done it where everything blew up. I guess that would have been perfectly fine, too. And I totally understand why people will be like, oh, well, GR flies the F-16. They're trying to cheat. Well, man, I'm going to be blunt. They are doing a terrible job cheating if that is, in fact, a cheat. I mean, they're not doing well this year. And if they were cheating, you'd think they'd at least be doing a little bit better. So that's that opinion. Lost my train of thought. But how can you establish that a team is cheating when the other team knows they're testing, has access to the same level of code, and then that code was never seen in a match? Well, this is where I was going to go. So I have, 12 years as a network engineer professionally. I've worked for some very important companies. I've had clearances, security clearances and stuff. I have fucked up beyond recognition as a network engineer. For one of these companies, we made big things for the military. I shut down a multi-billion-dollar enterprise manufacturing plant. I shut down their entire network for 30 minutes by myself, accidentally, because I pushed something to production that shouldn't have gone to production. So I'm giving you guys a different scenario. So if this wasn't intentional and Bear was just working on it on the side, what's to say this wasn't a mistake? And people will say, oh, you can't have mistakes. Dude, humans are not perfect. We fuck up all the time. If you think that if you're going to sit here and get on your throne and say, well, he can't fuck up, blah, 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 dude, people screw up all the time. People just don't want to admit that they themselves screw up. They always say, do as I say, not as I do. Or at least that's what they come across as. And I hate it when people do that. Dude, we screw up perpetually. Human existence is a perpetual, never-ending cycle of one fuck up to the next fuck up to the next one. Just one after the other. And I think we get this idea based on social media and all of this other stuff that everybody lives these perfect lives, and we hold people to these extremes that everybody has to live a perfect life, when in fact no one does. No one has any idea what they're doing. And I don't mean to go off on this tangent, but man, if you can't give somebody a break for screwing up in this capacity, I don't know what you can do. And I don't even know that he did screw up. I'm just trying to propose multiple scenarios here. It's ridiculous. I mean, Bear gives and has given thousands of hours of his life to better this community through scripting, through mission design, through all kinds of stuff. And for one bad actor to come in after a ridiculous amount of shit that happened beforehand, before this even came out, and then to come in and say that this all happened after he gets kicked from the team and from the admin staff is a little suspect, right? If that actor, and he came and told me, said, not if, he did say that, hey, I think Bear's been cheating. Why didn't you come and tell me that before? Why did it take for you to get kicked from the team for you to come tell me that and then release this all of a sudden, supposedly by accident, to the public? That doesn't make sense. It comes across as somebody trying to character assassinate another individual for their screw-ups in their journey through life. Now, I myself have fucked up a lot in life. You guys have been partial to that if you've been on the DCS World Events Discord. I have been dragged through the mud through a lot of my life. Things that were true were not true. I lay it all out there. I am perfectly fine putting my life and living it on my sleeve. You know, I've learned that hiding shit just doesn't work. So if somebody wants to try and say something, as I've had to combat earlier with the things that have come up in my past, I put those out there. What else has happened? There's been a lot. We won't go into that. But I've learned that you just got to roll with it. And people are just going to constantly try and bring you down. And I think that's what's in the end is happening here. I love Bear. I think he has done more for the DCS community than anyone else I know, including, and I don't mean this negatively, including in some aspects DCS themselves, ED. I mean, Bear has single-handedly, and there has been a lot of help to Bear, but Bear is the man behind it, has influenced and created, and I'm viewed as the head of this whole thing, and I'm the face of competitive DCS, what have you. But man, Bear is the one behind all of this. Without him, none of this would happen. None of the missions would be to the level they are. The organization wouldn't be there. A lot of the ideas come from him. Interactions with ED, testing, mission development, server stability, all of that stuff comes from him. And I can't imagine somebody wanting to shit where they sleep. He has so much invested in this that it just doesn't make sense at all. And for people to think that he would do something like this to me is just ridiculous. I mean, yes, there is a lot of, I could say, gray area, but to me, the fact that it never reached production, there was a team and some individuals that actually went through several versions of of SATAL missions, and this code wasn't present. They broke down the code that was seen, rebuilt it, then went and tried to find it in the mission files. It was never there. So this instance was only this one time in this scrim. And the other team that he flew against said, and has been quoted as saying, yeah, we test stuff for them all the time. We're trying to better DCS. That's what scrims are partially for. Not only training, but trying to test things before they get into production. How is that bad? How can you view that as a negative? Well, I can tell you right now how you can view that as a negative. You can view it as a negative by only getting part of the story. It's like trying to find out why my son pushed somebody down at recess. Well, you ask him, he's only going to give you half the story, and he's going to give you the half of the story that makes him look like the hero, that frames him in the positive light. That's how this always works. When you ask somebody something that may impact and look at them negatively or shed a negative light on them, the majority of the human race is going to frame it in a way that it is at least not as negative on them or puts the other person as the bad actor. That's just how we as humans are. It takes a immensely strong and confident human being, person, individual to admit when they fucked up and to say, guys, I screwed up. And you know what? Bear has come to me numerous times and said, Moltar, Ryan, I screwed up. Do you want me to go fall on my sword? Because I will. That is the kind of individual Bear is. He has no problem admitting when he screws up, and he will fall on his sword even when it is not his fault. So, that is my rant. I don't know how you guys are going to take this. I've been silent through a lot of this. I've just kind of sat in the background. I've had a lot going on. I didn't want to get involved because I as a community organizer, always want to be seen as a neutral factor in all of this. I want to do what's best for the community, and I hope that a lot of you guys view that way. That a lot of you guys see this and see SATAL and the organization and DCS World Events is we just want what's best for the community. And we've had to overcome some things in the past where individuals, groups, whatever, have tried to do things. And I think this is just kind of another one of those examples where someone or a group has come out and said, hey, we want to try and take them down because they've framed us in a bad light to the community. Well, if you want to view us that way, fine. But what I have always tried to do with DCS World Events is do what I thought is best for the community. Have I screwed up? Absolutely. I'll be the first one to admit when I have fucked up, and I do it a lot. I've learned that trying to hide your screw-ups, trying to hide the times where you yourself have fucked up just makes the situation worse. It's best in the long run and even the short run to just say, hey, guys, look over here. I got my sign. Look at me. I fucked up. Nobody cares in the grand scheme of things because we realize deep down that we're all a mess. We all screw up, and we can all relate to that. Anyone that thinks that they're perfect and doesn't screw up, and this is kind of getting philosophical, is they got themselves something going on in the head or on in their lives. So, guys, I'm going to leave you there. You guys can yell at me, think what you want down in the comments. But this is what it is. I don't think Bear did anything malicious. I don't think the sponsors have anything to worry about. Bear was just testing something because something is apparently broken, and they want to make it a more fair competition. And just because it was being tested does not mean that it was going to go into the game or that it was necessarily a good idea. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Bear and I have talked about this numerous times in the past, And not that the code was interesting, but just that, you know, he's trying to fix something that was broken. Aircraft not blowing up when they get hit by a missile, not taking any damage. You know, competitive sake, you may want to look into that. And I think that's exactly what Bear was doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is where I'm going to leave you. That is my rant. Take it or leave it. Take it for what you will. Call me a dumbass. Do whatever you want. You know, Moltar, you're a liar, whatever. Man, it is what it is. Bear is an awesome individual. Hopefully, you guys can see that. He's done more for this community than anyone that I know, and he does it all for free. Nobody's getting rich off of any of this stuff, and hopefully, we can get past this. So, let me know what you think down below. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. I am hugely busy with some other stuff, but I'll try and get back to you. Maybe make a follow-up video depending on what I see from you guys. But have a good one. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys later.